You mentioned science fiction on the phone. So let's go with the ridiculous first. What's the greatest sci-fi novel of all time in your view? And maybe what ideas do you find philosophically fascinating about it?
The greatest sci-fi novel of all time is Dune, and the second greatest is The Children of Dune, and the
And
third
so on.
greatest is The God Emperor of Dune. So I'm a huge fan of the whole series. I mean, it's just an incredible world that he created. And I don't know if you've read the book or not.
No, I have not. That's one of my biggest regrets, and especially because the new movie is coming out, and
Right.
everyone's super excited about it. It's ridiculous to say, and sorry to interrupt, is that I used to play the video game. It used to be Dune. I guess you would call that real-time strategy.
Right. I think I remember that game.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. 90s or something. I think I played it actually when I was in Russia.
I definitely remember it. I was not in Russia anymore. I think at the time that I used to live in Russia, I think video games were about like the suspicion of Pong. I think Pong was pretty much like the greatest game I ever got to play in Russia, which was still a privilege, right, in that age.
So you didn't get color? You didn't get like...
Well, so I left Russia in 1991, right?
1991, okay.
So I was one of the few lucky kids because my mom was a programmer. So I would go to her work, right? I would take the metro. I'd go to her work and play like on, I guess, the equivalent of like a 286 PC, you know?
Nice. With floppy disks.
Yes.
So, okay, but back to Dune. What do you get?
Back to Dune. And by the way, the new movie I'm pretty interested in, but the
You're
original,
skeptical?
I'm a little skeptical. I saw the trailer. I don't know. So there's a David Lynch movie, Dune, as you may know. And I'm a huge David Lynch fan, by the way. So the movie is somewhat controversial, but it's a little confusing, but it captures kind of the mood of the book better than I would say like most any adaptation. And like Dune is so much about kind of mood and the world, right? But back to the philosophical point. So in the fourth book, God Emperor of Dune, there's a sort of setting where Leto, one of the characters, he's become this weird sort of God Emperor. He's turned into a gigantic worm. I mean, you kind of have to read the book to understand what that means.
So the worms are involved.
Worms are involved. You probably saw the worms in the trailer, right?
Yeah. And in the video game.
So he kind of like merges with the swarm and becomes this tyrant of the world, and he like oppresses the people for a long time, right? But he has a purpose. And the purpose is to kind of break through kind of a stagnation period in civilization, right? But people have gotten too comfortable, right? And so he kind of oppresses them so that they explode and like go on to colonize new worlds and kind of renew the forward momentum of humanity, right? Mm-hmm. And so to me, that's kind of like fascinating, right? You need a little bit of pressure and suffering, right, to kind of like make progress, not get too comfortable. I don't know,
Okay,
maybe that's a bit of a cruel philosophy to take away, but
that seems to be the case, unfortunately. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of suffering.